Today, our focus on the morning show is on Ithaca schools, and joining us, the leadoff hitter today is Dr. Brandon Federley, middle school, high school principal. How are things going these days at Ithaca?
Well, thank you for having us. It's great to be the opening act today. We got some great teachers here, and things are thawing nicely. The Wednesday's snow day was a welcome sight, not only for the students, but also for the teachers and administrators. It was, I don't want to say we were looking for a snow day, but it was very, very nice to have one. It felt good to sleep in a little bit, or go back to bed, as it were, a little bit.
I'm not sure he had many, if any, last year. I can't recall.
I think we had one early release, and there was a moment on Tuesday. You know, the kids always get excited, and they check the "is school going to be canceled" calculator, and there were a group of kids at lunch that were asking, "Do you have Dr. Federley's phone number?" And I said, yeah, I do. Can you text her to urge that school's going to be canceled? Well, I can send her a text message. And so in my old man voice, kids are being annoying. Make sure we have school tomorrow. And the uproar, it was pretty amusing. But in the end, it was the safe thing to do. The roads, it was not safe for anyone to be out on the road. And it gave everyone a well-needed rest as we start to close out 2025.
Right. You talk about it, it's quite the stretch between start of school, and I guess you had Thanksgiving thrown in there, but there's a lot of busy stuff going on, a lot of learning going on, and extracurriculars are well underway as well, aren't they?
The busyness of the winter sports season, when you have 2 or 3 games a week and practices, and we have kids that forensics is starting up, and we have Julie Thompson does an amazing job with our forensics students, and so they're starting to choose their pieces in practice. The winter concert season is upon us, and you're going to be hearing from Kennedy Chelberg later in the show about the elementary and band concerts. And so it seems like there's hardly an evening where you can sit back and relax. So I'm not going to say that I was looking for a reason to have a snow day, mostly because it's not my ultimate call, but it did end up being very timely.
Tonight you have a busy night at Ithaca. You have the basketball and you have the benefit spaghetti supper going on.
Absolutely. It's an Ithaca tradition, isn't it?
I think.
To have the WeHa spaghetti dinner fundraiser. So if I could paint the picture for this evening of a Bulldog entertainment, DeSoto's coming in, and so we have, because of the distance, we have both the boys and the girls teams playing. Junior varsity teams, the boys will be, the girls will be the first junior varsity game down at the community gym, and that's at 5:45. And then the boys will be a 7 o'clock junior varsity game down at the community gym at 7. And that's because up in the main gym, we're going to have the varsity doubleheader, where the boys are going to be the opening act at 5:45, and the girls are going to be the 7 o'clock game. So there's going to be 4 basketball games for you to see, depending on whom you want to see or the sport you want to see. In addition to that, because of the number of people that are coming in, WeHa, advised by Kathleen Shane, Wisconsin High School Horsemanship, will be having their yearly spaghetti dinner fundraiser, and serving will begin 4 o'clock and run through 7 o'clock. If you've been there, it's a wonderful meal. They serve you get a salad, you get spaghetti with your choice of meat or meatless sauce. There's breadsticks, salad, drinks, dessert, so you can get an amazing meal. The cost is $8 for adults, $6 for students, and then children 6 and under, it's all they care to spill for free. And so we're inviting folks to come on out, see a great evening of basketball, cheer on the Bulldogs, have a meal, and then get home safely.
Have you decided what the name of the mascot is with Ithaca Weston Co-op? Has that been come up yet for discussion or vote?
Well, it has been discussed. And during the first year, we're going to stick with Ithaca Weston Girls. And we're doing that because we want to see what arises. the choice of a nickname, considering that softball's now a co-op, and next fall football's going to be a co-op, we want to make a very deliberate, intentional choice. And so, if anyone does have inspiration with regard to what the nickname should be, we would encourage you to reach out to the school, reach out to Trent Urban, the athletic director on Ithaca's side, or Maggie Lansinger, the athletic director on the Weston side, and give us your suggestions, because ultimately we want to have a mascot that both communities can support. Weston has a great tradition being the Silver Eagles. Ithaca has a great tradition being the Bulldogs, and we want to respect both of those and recognize the fact that as co-ops, former rivals are now on the same field, the same court, and show that we really want to do well by these kids.
Yeah, maybe a half dog, half bird, or
I don't. It was brought up to have like Silver Beagle, and I don't know if that's going to be appropriate. That might not strike fear into the hearts of our enemies.
Maybe not. You have some early releases coming up, or at least one before Christmas, don't you?
We do have an early release coming up. In the beginning of the year, the school calendar listed that there was an early release on December the 18th. And we petitioned the school board to get that moved for a couple of reasons. December the 18th is a second harvest food pantry date at Ithaca School. And our students do a wonderful job of volunteering to help package the food donations and get them ready for distribution and help distribute to those in need. If we have an early release, there's going to be no students to help at the end of the day to do that. The second reason is that 18th date has been moved to December the 23rd. And that would be the last day that we hold school before Christmas break. So we're going to have a half day on that day because, families travel. It's important to be where that tradition puts you for a Christmas holiday. And the earlier you can get on the road, the better. Or if you're hosting, the sooner you can begin to cook. And I'm going to go over the Christmas goose, the ham, the turkey, the whatever it is. And I hearken back to my time as a kid. My grandparents were Ukrainian immigrants, and my grandmother made, they were called holubchi, Ukrainian cabbage rolls. And the smell of those as they were cooking filled the house. And I've tried my hand to make them once, and they all fell apart. So I'm going to leave that to Grandma. The idea still stands that we want to get people where they belong for the Christmas holiday because it's important. And so having that half day on the 23rd so that kids can get home, kids can start that Christmas tradition that's so important to all of us was a big reason for the change as well.
You wanted to give a transportation update or a request for different transportation in the afternoons.
Yes. So this is something that we're asking of families. Beginning December the 15th, which would be Monday, the school district is requesting that if there is a change in a student's usual afternoon transportation, so for instance, if a student typically rides the bus and instead will be picked up by a caregiver, or if a student gets picked up and does need to ride the bus, we are asking that those afternoon transportation requests in change in procedure be received by 1:30 in the school office. And we're doing that because I liken the main office to mission control. Those ladies do an amazing job. And in the afternoons, we have to get lists together of which student goes where each day. And Sheila and Christine work really hard on making sure that all the students are placed safely so that when dismissal time comes, students are routed exactly where they need to be, and that all students are present and accounted for. That is the greatest treasure that we have in the school. So once 1:30 comes around, it gets much tougher to change the procedures that we have pulled in place. Now, that being said, we do understand that there are times when there are emergencies. And so if there is a true emergency and an urgent change needs to be made after 1:30, then family members will have to talk with either myself or Ms. Dilly, the elementary principal, or Dr. Federley, the district administrator, because at that point, in order to change those plans, we need to know what's going on and communicate that effectively, because the main office is in mission control mode. And I've been in the elementary side of the building at the end of the day, and it's like an anthill. Teachers are moving here and there, directing children. The children are going here and there, getting their things and getting to the right door and lining up. And I am impressed with the well-oiled machine that it is. And I now, after seeing it firsthand, can see how one small change will end up, it's almost like a Warner Brothers cartoon where you throw one small wrench into the gearworks and then things can go crazy. So we're doing this because the kids and the staff work very hard on making sure that kids get to their transportation spots safely, and they're picked up or transported and get to where they belong. And in order to do that, we do need time to make sure all of those kids are in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, communication is key, because you don't want a student maybe riding a bus when the parent thought they were, going to be here or picking them up. It's, I know it's a big piece of the puzzle, but it's important to get all that down, isn't it?
Well, it would be horrible if we had a kid ride the bus and then get home and have no one be home.
Right.
Right? It's just as bad if we have a kid expecting someone to pick them up, and then at 4 o'clock, well, you should have been on the bus. Those are logistic things that I want to say we want to minimize, because kids are at school long enough. I remember being a kid, it was kind of nice when, well, I don't have to do morning chores. I've got to go out and get on the bus, But some of these young kids are up pretty early to get on the bus and get to school. And they need rest too. They put in a good hard day of work learning their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and to get them home safely, get them to where they belong, and that way caregivers don't have to worry either. When there's good communication and everyone knows what's going to happen, then things flow a whole lot more smoothly.
You've done a good job of highlighting some of the different segments of Ithaca, and this time you brought along a couple of new teachers, first-year teachers, and maybe somebody in a new position. So we're going to hear from them in a short time here, Brandon.
We are. So we've got Megan Amos, who is our new middle school science and English language arts teacher. She has done an amazing job so far, and we can't wait to introduce her to the Ithaca community. Our other first-year teacher is Miss Kennedy Chelberg, and if you attended the choir concert, you got to meet her. And so she'll be talking about the elementary concert that's going to be coming up and the band concert that's going to be coming up. She teaches all music in the district, and I just cannot believe the amount of energy she has in a day to go from, second grade to seniors in high school. She is a go-getter, and one of the aspects of her that brightens my smile is there are certain moments between classes that she has a sparkly pink ukulele. And so she will be in the hall playing ukulele music as kids are passing back and forth. And it just puts a smile on everybody's face. And then the third person, who is not new to Ithaca, but is new to the role, is Trent Urban. He's been a third grade teacher for many years. But this fall, he picked up athletic director as one of his roles. And so he's going to be talking about what it's like to accept some new work, even though I don't want to say he's old because he's still pretty young, but he's an established face in the district.
Okay, we'll hear from them coming up. Thanks for all you do in helping to coordinate this as well.
It's a pleasure, and thank you to WRCL for having us.
Dr. Brandon Federley, middle school, high school principal at Ithaca, and we'll have more coming up in a moment here on The Morning Show. On a morning show today from WRCO, we have Trent Urban joining us, third grade teacher and Ithaca athletic director as well. Good morning, Trent.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good to have you in. I know that I think Dr. Brandon Federley is watching your class while you're here, right?
That is correct.
Then
Mr. Federley's got me covered. Yeah.
We're going to flip-flop him.
Yeah, that's right. We'll take our time here.
All right.
Let him teach some math. He's probably used to some more advanced math, but he's teaching some money today, so I think he can handle it.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
What's it like to still be in the third grade after all these years?
Oh, yeah, I've been fourth grade for the first 8 that I was here, and then I dipped down to third for these last 2, and it's a different set of challenges. I thought it'd be more similar to fourth than it is, and so they're a little bit younger, and so it is just a little bit of a different beast, but it's good. It's got its challenges, but it's definitely rewarding too. I love what I do, so it's a lot of fun.
Those kids bring that energy every day, don't they?
Yeah, that's for sure, and I like to try to match that. I've got some energy myself, so yeah, it keeps me young, I guess. I like that.
So what are some things you're typically doing this time of year in the classroom?
Oh boy, well, this week we start our iReady testing, and so this is our second iReady test we're going to be taking. We take the initial when they come to school, and then you see this one after they've been there for about 3 months, see where we're going, and then we'll have another data point, and we'll use that to keep going in the year. So we'll get a math reading and a reading score, and so from there, we'll see what we do for the rest of the year. But you hope to see, when they come in the first time, you hope to see some improvement to the second time. And I'm optimistic. We've been working hard, and we're gonna go get it. So it's fun. Yeah, I'm a data guy, and so when you get data points that are from diagnostics like this, it's fun to see that, see where you're going, and I don't know, let's just see how to best get to those students too, because it's individualized. Mm-hmm. So not each student's at the same place.
Right. I was going to say every student's at a little bit different level,
yep.
and you got to get them kind of caught up together by the end of the year.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then when you look at third grade, are you doing anything special in terms of any outings, field trips, or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. So we go to the Cave of the Mounds, and we go to the state capitol. And so we flip-flop that, and we share that with fourth grade. And so fourth grade and third grade go together, and they go to the Capitol one year, then the next year is Cave of the Mounds. So we did the Capitol last year, and this year's Cave of the Mounds, and just keep that rotation going. So
that's kind of exciting. Do you use that part of the curriculum as well, about what they see, what they learn?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, that ties into fourth grade specifically for the Capitol. They do a lot of work with that there in fourth grade, but we do some in third grade too, just to kind of introduce it and get them ready for that. And yeah, they're a little bit familiar, but to go there and actually see it, it's an incredible thing for them. And like if you've never been, it's pretty impressive there.
Yeah. Well, you're also athletic director. You take that over this year.
I did.
That is almost a full-time job, isn't it?
Oh, you are correct. Yeah, it feels like it. It does. It's a lot. It's a big commitment. It's like putting together a puzzle that constantly shifts and pieces pop out and isn't always, you thought you had that part done, and then, oh, well, this official can't make it, or this game got moved, and now can those officials still make it? And it's just, it's a challenge every day. And sometimes you come in and you're like, okay, I know I'm gonna tackle this today, and then there's a lot of things you didn't know you're gonna tackle that day either. And so it keeps you on your toes. And again, challenging, but I like that. It's a different aspect to my job that I don't know, I appreciate, and it's fresh and new. So yeah, it's been something that is definitely challenging, but really, really fun too at the same time.
I'm sure you're grateful for the officials that you deal with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, can't thank officials enough. They're the most underappreciated people, and for them to come out and do what they do, and it's just, you can't thank them enough. They're the best. So. And
as you take over, you're working the new co-op program with Weston
yes.
for basketball.
Yep.
But then you have to coordinate a couple of schools, like gym space for both schools, don't you?
Absolutely. Even just for practices, practicing at this location or that, and this gym or that one. And so yeah, there's a lot of that. Even just coming up here tonight, we've got 2 JV games going on at the same time as we have 2 JV or varsity ones up in the upper gym. So upper gym has 2 varsity games going. Lower gym, 2 JV games. And so it's just shuffling all those officials and all those workers and all those things just to make that work. And so, yeah, stuff like that. It's just, you always got something to think about.
And the other thing tonight is you have some food available, don't you?
Yes, we do. So we're going to have a ton of food there available for you. We're going to have Weston in the house, obviously, from our Weston Ithaca Co-op. We're going to have Riverdale's JV team there, DeSoto, both their varsity and JV. So lots of people in the building, but lots of food in the building as well. And so, yes, the WeHa Foundation, Mrs. Sprecher, is putting on a spaghetti fundraiser dinner that night, well, tonight really, and the cost of that is $8 for adults, $6 for students, and if you're 4 and under, is free. And so we'll be serving that from 4 to 7. If you don't have dinner plans, hey, come and get some. So
Yeah, great deal. And that's going on tonight. And, I don't know how you coordinate that because, you need officials for middle school, or not middle school, JV and varsity and workers to run the clocks.
Correct. And then they will shift. So they'll start down and they'll make a walk and then they're up there. So, there's just a lot of moving pieces, like I said earlier. But, it's fun keeping all that straight and working with all that. So, yeah.
And the wrestling season is underway. You have head boys coaches, and then you have a girls coach as well.
Yeah, and that girls coach is a big addition. That sport is growing, and so to have a specific coach for that, and Skyla Wanless, we're really excited for her. She's doing a great job with those kids, but that is an exploding sport, and to have a specific coach for that is really, really cool for those girls. So,
It's been interesting. The girls' numbers are catching up with the boys' numbers.
They really are, middle school especially. We've got some interest this year, too, which is, great looking down the line. So, it's really, really encouraging.
Indeed. And so then getting into the new year, you're going to be getting into, I don't want to, kind of make time go fast, but baseball and softball will be here before you know it.
It really is.
And you will be co-op with Weston for softball as well, right?
Yep, that's right. Yep. And it does. It gets here way faster than you think. You do have to be thinking down the road a lot, especially in this spot. So, it's fun, yeah.
At this point, do you know, is Ithaca hosting or Weston hosting any postseason tournaments, WIA events, or anything like that this year?
No, they don't have that scheduled for us right now, but as we see who qualifies and all that, we'll see.
Perhaps.
I hope so.
Yeah, like great. A home game or something.
Right,
but for sectionals, for wrestling, and they're all different places this year.
Correct,
And then you do have the big Weston Ithaca wrestling tournament in January.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do.
And a lot of teams coming in for that.
Yeah, we do, and that'll be fun. That's one of the sports where I never wrestled in the past, so this is one where I got to really hit the ground sprinting and figure out, okay, how does all this wrestling stuff work? Because I have a lot of experience and background in these other sports and how those are set up and things like that. But for wrestling, it's a different beast for me. I never was a wrestler, and so looking at how to run all of that has been kind of fun and figuring out what to use and who does what. And so, prepping for that, that's one that's new for me.
It's a learning curve, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And down the road, they're talking about some possible rule changes. I know basketball, they've kind of talked about a shot clock and different things like that. I don't know what your feeling is on that, but
that's a big thing. Like everyone's discussing that right now, and I've heard perspectives from both sides, and I can really appreciate both. I see the pros and the cons for both sides. I actually had someone I was having a conversation with the other day that I never thought of this, but said maybe just the last 2 minutes install a shot clock. And so, you got people thinking about this, and it's something that we should be thinking about. And there's, lots of different opinions on it. But, I see all sides of that.
I do too. I know it takes more hardware, but it also, for you as an AD, you've got to get another person to specifically run that clock, don't you?
Right. And I've heard it said too that maybe you'd need like almost an official person, like somebody who just does this, almost like we have officials for the game, officials maybe for the game clock, too, rather than someone from the community. So it's just so many things to think about with all of that. But I could see it speeding up the game. I could see it making it more interesting for sure. But all those logistics are things you got to think about too. Yeah.
You had a successful year in cross country in the co-op with Richland Center. Could you talk about that a little bit?
We certainly did. Yeah, that was a ton of fun to be a part of. Just all those guys, and Mr. Mindham, man, he does a fantastic job coaching them too. And it was great to watch from afar. And we were able to have them out for a pep rally to celebrate that and coordinate the pep rally with Richland Center too. So they were able to get back in time. So they came to us first. We had our pep rally for them, and then sent them back to center, and they had their pep rally there. And it's just a great partnership with them, and it's just been so easy and seamless to work with, and just to be able to see the success there, it was crazy. It's been more than 50 years since that's been done, and so very, very cool to see the athletes succeed like that. And it's really something too. If you've ever tried to run that distance, man, you appreciate those times. It's crazy. Like, until you've tried to actually get out there and run it and see if you can do that time or anywhere even near it, I mean, man, it's impressive. Those times are crazy.
It is. And I think that this team this year brought a lot of excitement, from the communities. People were talking about cross country, which they don't always do, unfortunately.
Right.
But I hope that builds some good things for the future, trying maybe get some more numbers out as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Success breeds success, and to see that success happen this year, I just hope we can build on that and get some more interest in the sport, because it's really pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is. And so as athletic director, you got a lot of things to coordinate, fundraisers and whatnot. Is there a fundraiser coming up for the alumni? Did I see that?
There is, yeah, the third annual. So that's going to be on January 3rd. They're going to have a 3-point contest with that too. Then they've got a women's game and a men's game. That's just going to be at the high school gym in Ithaca. So you can reach out to Bailey Miller or Aaron Hipsch about that if you were interested. But it's going to be something to watch too. I think I might just go down and watch. It's pretty cool.
You might get called in to referee or something.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe I can officiate. Yeah.
That'll be fun, though. But that's for alumni. And what's the time again on that?
Well, the 3-point contest starts at 5. The women's game is at 6, and the men's is at 7:15.
All right, on the 3rd.
Yep.
Yeah, I maybe should go out and broadcast that one. It sounds like that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, $5 to play in it. The benefits go to the Ithaca basketball program. So
awesome.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, we appreciate you coming in to take the time to talk to us here. And anything else you want to add today as far as third grade teaching or your AD job or anything like that, Trent?
I just got to say, ADs are some of my favorite people. When I've been able to reach out and talk to these people, the community that we already have going on in the Ridge and Valley, all those Ridge and Valley ADs have been so helpful, and just I've hit the ground sprinting with this job, and there's so much to know about it. And when you walk into it, you don't know it, but you're not allowed to say, I don't know. You got to figure it out because you're the guy, right? And so reaching out to some of them, Jared Hemmersbach from Cash, and he's a phenomenal guy. Cole Huth, he's the best. But just that community of ADs, when you're talking to an AD, you're getting something done, and you're efficient. And so that part of my job I've really loved, and just want to say thank you to all those guys. They've just been a ton of help to me.
I presume that, yeah. I mean, when you're in the first year, you can ask some of those that have been around for a while to help you. And
Yep, Larry Villiard, too. I mean,
sure.
He did it for Weston forever. He's been absolutely huge. And, if I've got a question, he's kind of my go-to guy. And so, there's just people around me that really have made this a lot easier than it could have been. So I just want to say thank you to them.
Great deal. Well, keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
We see you once in a while sometimes.
Oh,
we see each other more than our own family sometimes. You get kind of busy
true.
in the wintertime.
It's true, yeah. Speaking of things that, you don't really know until you have to go figure it out, just setting you up with the little drape to get that up there,
Yeah.
it's like, how do we do this? I don't know. And then you knew more than I did. It's this archaic little device we got to use to get it up. And
get the curtain up so I can see.
That's right. Little things like that. So many little things like that today. It's like, well, I didn't know how to do this. Now I do know.
Now you do.
And it's just a series of that kind of thing all the time. And so, appreciate you when you're out helping me out. And just whenever we see you out in the game, it's a good day. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Learning on the job.
That's
together.
right. Yeah, it's on-the-job training.
So Trent Urban joining us in this segment as we talk about Ithaca Schools this month on The Morning Show. We'll have more coming up. On WRCA Radio's Morning Show today, we introduce you to Megan Amos, who is middle school science and English teacher in the Ithaca District in her first year. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Great to have you in the studio with us. So tell us, Megan, a little bit about yourself.
So I am a first-year teacher at Ithaca. I am originally from south of Milwaukee, Racine, Wisconsin. So very different scene out here for me. Normally, my district was in several different buildings. High school alone was about 3,000 people. So Ithaca is a very new thing for me.
Had you heard of Ithaca before you took the job?
I had not, no. Yeah, I don't know much about the rural areas, so I'm learning a lot just living here now. So
yeah, that's awesome. When you were growing up, were you inspired by a teacher when you were in middle school or high school to maybe get into education?
There were quite a few. Third grade, I had Mrs. Anderson. She was an absolute inspiration, helped me through a lot of hardships in my third grade life, which third grade, you think, what kind of hardships are you going through? But then I had middle school teachers that were awesome too, Mrs. Stapleman specifically. And then really most of my high school teachers, choir director, she was awesome too. So,
were you always interested in science?
Yeah, I'd say English and science were my favorite subjects, so it was kind of the perfect job for me when I was applying for it. And I love just finding out new things and always learning, and experiments are always super fun for me. So
you'll be doing a little bit of that with the science project, middle school. So typically, what do you work on in middle school science?
So I teach 6th and 7th science. So in 6th grade, it's all earth science. So we're learning about the Earth's layers. Right now we're going over earthquakes and plate tectonics and how all of those things happen and form. And 7th grade is going through life science. So right now we're talking about inherited traits, where we get all of our characteristics from, coming from our parents, or if they're acquired, things like that.
What grade do you do physical science then?
That would be 8th grade.
8th grade, okay. Mm-hmm. So I guess I do remember a little bit about that then.
Yep.
Middle school, is it a difficult age to teach, or how do you look at it?
I think a lot of people say it's difficult, but I don't necessarily want to label it that way. It's interesting, I'd say, because they're going through so much learning who they are as a person and how to feel emotions and how to cope with them as well. So it's an interesting age because one day they could be one person and the next day they're not. So I'm always meeting new versions of them. It feels like every day. So, yeah.
That's a good answer.
Thank you.
What about English? What do you learn? What do you teach in English at that level?
So a lot of it is reading, because there's been a bit of an epidemic, I'd say, of kids just not reading quite as much. So we do a lot of reading in school, a lot of choice reading where they get to pick exactly what they want to read. Makes it a little bit more interesting for them. But we go through texts that are age appropriate and really dive into them, dissect them, analyze what kind of tools the author is using to get us to feel certain ways or understand certain things about the story.
Yeah, it used to be, I think the required reading at that level was maybe Lord of the Flies, I believe was one, and maybe Treasure Island. I can't remember what we read, but it used to be required. So this strategy is probably a little bit better to get them and keep them interested in reading, right?
Yeah, it's shorter texts, so their attention is easier to keep, I'd say. And if they don't like one story, well, it's not too long, so we'll be on the next one soon. And we do a lot of writing as well. Writing is always a great skill, and making sure they know how to back up what they believe too.
I see. Yeah, give me an example of like a writing assignment. Is it, creative writing, or is it, a story about themselves, or what would a typical assignment be?
I try to do a little bit of everything. So, for example, in my 8th grade English class, our first unit was all about the art of suspense. So how authors build suspense through different literary devices. And for their end of unit project, I had them write their own short suspenseful story. So that one, I gave them a couple prompts if they needed it. They just get started, but then it was completely up to them, however they wanted their story to be. So I like to do creative things like that, because I know if you're sitting and answering a question, what was the theme? How did the author convey this? It's going to get a little bit boring. I was in middle school. I get it. I always tell them that. So I try to keep a balance of both of those things.
Are you doing anything in terms of speech, like getting up and giving their speeches?
I'd say I do more of that in science, funny enough. We do a lot of choice projects where they get to pick a certain thing that we talked about within our unit, and they get to dive deep on that one piece. And then they get to go up and present it and tell the class all of the new things that they learned. And then we're getting even more information on this topic than we were in the first place. So,
there's some goals? It's only your first year, but would you like to see a science fair someday, maybe?
I would love to, yeah. I think as of right now, I'm figuring out my rhythm and trying to keep my head above water, as a lot of new teachers say, and doing pretty well so far, I'll say. But yeah, I would love to see more things like that, where they can put a lot of effort into something and then show everybody and be proud of it.
What about from the English standpoint? Are there some things you'd like to see or instituted here in the future?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of things that are held. There's poetry competitions, things like that for creative writing. But I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'd like to see, but something for sure.
Mm-hmm. Do they have middle school forensics at Ithaca, or is that something that's down the line maybe? Maybe
that's
high school?
High school.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some schools do have that, so that might be something. The other thing would be a possibility of some plays or productions and things like that. Would you like to see that someday?
Yeah. I was always a choir kid. I was in musicals when I could be in school, so I still have a love for it, and I'd love to see my students do that kind of thing as well.
Wonderful. And as far as your job there at Ithaca, I'm guessing it was a little bit of a shock at first, but are you kind of getting used to, the way of life and maybe a little bit slower pace?
Yeah, I think my kids really enjoy it as well. My students, I don't have children, but they love when I ask them questions, because I was not born and raised near farms, really, so getting to see cows on my way to work every day is pretty awesome. I love cows. And just when I ask them, so you went and you showed animals, tell me what that includes. What did you have to do for that? Because I really don't know much about it at all. So, yeah, I think they enjoy it. And I enjoy hearing them talk about it because it's something they love to do.
Right. So you learn from them as much as they learn from you some days. Probably.
Exactly. I think sometimes I learn more.
Yeah. So education is something that we're glad to have a young person in education, because for a while I think we weren't getting a lot of people kind of going into that field. Was there another field you were interested in, or was it always education for you?
I suppose I had big dreams of being on Broadway at one point, or, doing makeup artistry, things like that. Anything creative really was on my radar. But I started working a job in early high school where I was working for a park and rec program in my hometown, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I love working with kids and seeing the aha moments when they figure something out. So, yeah, I think it wasn't necessarily always on my radar, but it was always something that I would, no matter what, I probably would have gone to.
I'm guessing there are some days you don't see an aha moment every day, but it has to be one of the most rewarding things when you see a student get it and or see their improvement from the start of the year until now, right?
Yes, I absolutely love it, because the recognition on their face, oh, I finally got this. It makes it all worth it. All of the stresses that we may have to go through, that's the best part of it.
Wonderful. And then the first semester is just about over. I'm guessing it's been a whirlwind for you, because you start teaching and then here we are almost through the semester, right?
Yeah, it feels like time has gone way too fast. All of a sudden, it was September and it was my first day officially teaching, and now I'm having to put in midterm grades for quarter two. It feels unreal.
Great. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well.
Good luck with the rest of the school year. And
thank you.
We can put a face behind the name right now. Megan Amos, middle school science and English with the Ithaca School District this school year. On this portion of the morning show, we introduce you to Kennedy Kjellberg, who is K through 12 music at Ithaca. Well, it's so nice to meet you. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here and to meet you too. It's always great to get out into the community and kind of spend time with people besides, the students and the other teachers. So
kind of learning the community a little bit. You're from outside the area. Tell us where you hail from.
Yes, so I'm from Somerset, Wisconsin, which is about 40 minutes east of the Twin Cities. So I like to say I'm from mini-Wisconsin because I did a lot of activities and stuff in Minnesota, all my concerts, and my family is a Minnesota sports fan. So we went to Twins games and Vikings games growing up. The one Wisconsin team we like is the Wisconsin Badgers, though. And I grew up in a small town. I lived in the country. My mom and my dad are great. They've been married now for 27 years, which is wonderful. And then I have two younger sisters. They're twins. They're 19. They're in their second year of college right now. So they are my favorite people on the planet. And then, of course, we have our dogs. We have 3 dogs. And I grew up living next to my grandparents. They had a farm, really small one, more of a hobby farm by the time I was old enough to understand it. But we had horses, and my grandpa bought me kittens, and it was just really fun to kind of grow up in that environment. And that's kind of what drew me to Ithaca and drew me to this area, is because I wanted that small town, that smaller school kind of vibe that I had growing up.
I was going to say, it wasn't so much a culture shock then when you moved here, was it?
It was a little bit. Kind of like I said earlier, I thought my school was small, and then I realized, we had 4 buildings, and Ithaca has 1 building. So that was the biggest thing. My graduating class was 94, and I'm realizing that the graduating classes that I'm working with are going to be like 30 or 40, which was kind of a shock. And also the idea that they sell livestock at homecoming, that was a bit of a shock for me. That was nothing that I was expecting.
The school fair, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
That makes them unique. Where does your love of music come from, Kennedy?
So my grandma actually played the accordion. She started teaching me when I was 6 years old. I was the first grandchild who wanted to learn. None of her kids wanted to learn, so it kind of skipped a generation. But then I was like, I want to try to learn this. So I started it when I was 6, and then I still play the accordion to this day. She unfortunately did pass away a little over a year ago. But she is what kind of instilled my love of music and what kind of made me realize that, maybe I could do this. And then I got into band and choir as soon as I could. And I just had amazing teachers who really supported and embraced my love of music and my love of community. That's one of the biggest things that I think a music department in a school can bring is community and friends and just a place where everyone can feel like they belong. And as much as I love music and I love making music and the idea of music, it's really the community that made me want to teach music and to be involved at a public school level with music.
I should have had you bring the accordion. You can probably play a little polka once in a while, can't you?
I have, yes, I have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that was the first instrument I learned how to play. And then I've played saxophone. Saxophone is like my main band instrument. I usually play the baritone saxophone, which if you don't know is the really big one.
Mm-hmm.
And then in college, I played all of them. I was in a jazz ensemble in college, concert band, concert choir, treble chorus, all the things. In high school, I was in show choir, jazz band. I was in every musical thing I could be involved in.
That's awesome. How many instruments do you play then, Kennedy?
How many instruments do I play at a middle school level or that I can play at a proficient level?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure as a teacher, you got to be able to be versed in all of them. But
Yeah, so all band instruments, I'd say I can play at about a 7th grade level. Except saxophone, I'm a little bit more advanced in that department. And percussion, I have a little more experience with percussion, especially marching percussion. And I play piano. I actually started playing piano formally when I got to college. And then I became a piano major, and then I did a piano recital. So piano is kind of my one true love when it comes to music. I also do play the guitar. I work at a summer camp, so that comes in very handy over the summers. I learned how to play bass for a church band. And yeah, I play the accordion, and then I also play the button accordion, which is the small one that most people think of when they think of an accordion. As really small, has little buttons, and when you push in, it's one note, pull it out, it's another note.
yes.
So I learned how to do that because my great-grandpa played that, and I was just bored one day, and I was like, I'm going to learn how to play this.
That's amazing. Lots of fun. And at Ithaca, there's never a dull moment. K through 12 music. So tell us, what is a typical day like for you?
So when I initially applied, the job position was for 612 band and choir, which is exactly what I wanted because I knew I wanted to teach secondary. I just love middle schoolers, and high schoolers are just my jam. I'm very sarcastic. I have that personality of like, don't mess with me. Like, I will sass you right back. Elementary, I was a little less comfortable with, but they basically were like, hey, we have K-5 music as well. Could you potentially, do this? And I was very apprehensive. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so much. And then they showed me the schedule, and I was like, okay. So I only meet with each elementary class one time a week. And every grade has one class, except 3rd grade has 2 classes. And then I teach 3 ensembles a day. So, like, a typical day, besides Tuesdays are crazy, I usually have an elementary class in the morning, and then I'll have 7th and 8th grade band or choir. Then I'll have my prep period, which I usually fill with, like, 6th grade lessons, like small group lessons, working on just kind of their technique in a more private small group setting. And then I'll have 6th grade band or choir, and then I'll have high school band or choir. And then I'll eat my lunch, do XYZ, and then usually in the afternoon I have one elementary class, and then I'll do more lessons as well in the afternoon. Tuesdays, however, I am teaching all day long until 2:30.
It keeps you hopping, to plan, prepare, what music you're going to sing and everything. And you're going sometimes from beginning level to, teaching seniors, all, probably in the same hour sometimes, right?
Yes, it is absolutely crazy. Especially even going from 6th grade to high school is a big jump from my teaching style. Because some of my high school students are like, I want to see you teach elementary because you do not seem like an elementary teacher. And I'm like, that's because you're not in elementary school.
So you recently had a choir concert.
We did.
Yeah, how did that go?
Yes, it went very, very well. The kids will tell you differently because they're too critical of themselves. But we had it this past Monday night. It was 6 through 12, so it was a 6th grade choir, 7th and 8th grade choir, and the high school choir. And they did an amazing job. They actually, if you didn't know, they haven't had an actual choir director in a few years. And one of my seniors told me that since she's been in high school, she has not had a director stay for more than a year. So the amount of turnover has been substantial, especially in the choir department. So for not having had that experience, I think they did an incredible job, because I'm coming in here fresh out of college just like, yes, choir's awesome. And they're like, whoa, like last year we didn't sing in parts. I don't know any of this music theory stuff you're talking about. So I kind of had to take a step back and be like, okay, so I need to teach catered to these kids, but also bring in my knowledge and bring in my skill set that is different from who they had last year and the year before that. So that was a challenge. But the kids did a really good job. They jumped in head first. And we have 36 kids in high school choir, which for Ithaca is pretty big.
Those are good numbers.
It's a very good number. Yeah. But yeah, the kids did great. They really just kind of took on the challenge of, hey, okay, we're doing this new thing. A lot of this stuff is new. Sixth graders had never been in choir before, and they dove in head first and were very receptive of what I taught them, which was really nice. And a lot of people say, your first year, classroom management behaviors are going to be, your biggest enemy. And they have been kind of hard, but I think developing relationships is really important. So I think I've developed those relationships to a point where we have a mutual respect. So they kind of open their mind to singing and doing things they're not used to doing.
Right. And in a small school, it's a little easier to know everybody's name. You see them in the halls quite frequently and things like that. So it's probably easier, isn't it?
Yes, it absolutely is. That is one of the reasons that I wanted a smaller school, because the relationship that I had with my teachers, specifically my music teachers, was always incredible, and I felt like they were people that I could trust and that I could go to with anything, whether it be music related or in my personal life. They were big supporters of me going to college for music and of me pursuing music as a career and as a teacher, and they were very, very supportive and very vocal about what I would need, and they supported my decision, and they were like, you would be a really good music teacher. So I want to do that for my students, and I think it's a lot easier to develop those relationships if you are in a smaller school. And especially me teaching K-12, it's a lot of work, but I do get to see all of the students at some point, most of them, unless they're not in band or choir. But like the elementary kids, I get to see all of them except for 4K. So I know all the elementary schoolers. I don't know all their names yet, but we're almost there.
You're getting there. It's almost the semester, so it's time's moving on fast. That's for sure. What would you like to, as far as goals for the future? I know, you're involved in show choir and musicals and those kind of things. I mean, that'd be awesome at Ithaca, but it's as far as facilities and everything, maybe that isn't quite the reality. But what would you like to see instituted?
So a lot of my band students actually have asked me about implementing a jazz program into school, into Ithaca. And that is something that I do have a lot of experience with. I was in jazz band from late middle school all the way through college, and I love jazz. I think it's such a great learning tool for improvisation and for just learning a different style of music. And there are students who are not in band who are like, I play drum set, or I play, string bass, I play guitar. And that way we can bring them into the department without the intimidation of, oh my gosh, I don't know how to play like a band instrument. I don't want to join. So I think jazz is probably my next big goal, is to bring in some kind of jazz program, because I have had students ask about it and I want to cater to what the students want. Mm-hmm. And theater is my second love as well. So I was in theater all through high school. I did a show when I was in college. I actually just auditioned for a show in Reedsburg. I auditioned last night, so we'll find out about that next week. So I would love to add some theater to Ithaca and bring it in. It's going to be a slow process, obviously, because doing K-12 and my first year teaching and all of that super fun stuff. But I would eventually like to bring theater and make theater a part of the Ithaca community, because I have also had students ask about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think they've got a rich history in that. It'd be nice to see that come back, and with the help of the community and things, I think that could be done. So good luck with that. Do you have any other concerts coming up, Kennedy, you'd like to talk about?
We do. So next Wednesday, December 17th at 2:00 p.m. in the high school gym, we have our elementary winter program. So if you would like to see some very cute children with some sleigh bells and doing some singing, come on out for that. It's going to be super fun. The kids have been working so hard. I've had kids come in and say, I practiced all weekend. I know all the words. I'm ready to go. And I was like, that's wonderful. And then Monday, the 22nd of December is going to be our 6 through 12 band concert. So that will feature the 6th grade band, 7th and 8th grade band, and the high school band. And that is just going to be an awesome concert full of very holly jolly holiday music. High school is playing the Polar Express. We've got some Spanish carols. We've got some lyrical stuff with some pretty solos in the high school. So it's going to be a super, super great concert. And the choir one was only 40 minutes long, and some people really appreciated that. I like to keep my concerts pretty short. Like, hear the music, beautiful, done. I don't like to talk in the microphone either, so that probably helps.
To MC it, you just want to play the music and be done then.
Absolutely.
Sure. And then when you get to the next part of the year, then you'll probably be working on solo ensembles and all those kind of things that come with the second semester, right?
Yes, I've already had students ask me. They asked me like last week, and I was like, hey, please, I just need you to wait till after the band concert, and then we can focus on solo and ensemble. But I'm also actually one of the new assistant forensics coaches. So I've been doing that as well and starting to take on that role. And I'm also the middle school student council advisor, or I will be. So I have some other roles as well that I'm taking on. But yes, so also in the spring is when we have our contest for band and choir, which the kids are already asking about. And that's going to be an adventure for me for sure, because I've never picked repertoire, for contest or anything like that. But the kids seem very excited about it. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Great. Yeah, lots of things going on. Ithaca has a rich forensics tradition, too, so it'll be nice to be involved in that, and you'll probably work with some of the same kids as well.
Oh, yeah. During the forensics meeting, I was like, oh, I know all of you. Perfect.
That'll work well. So coming up on the elementary concert again on Wednesday, what songs will they be singing?
We have a variety of your classic Christmas songs, Jingle Bells, Deck the Halls, Mary Did You Know, Up on the Housetop. And then we also have some more wintry theme songs. We have a song called Cold Snap, which is from Flakes, the musical.
Okay.
And that is a super, super fun jazzy one. And the kids have been doing such a good job with it. I threw it at this class and I was like, you guys would do a really good job with this one. And they have been embracing it so much, and they are just going to be absolutely wonderful. And we have Let It Snow. We have Frosty the Snowman. And then it's going to end with K through 5, all the students singing We Wish You a Merry Christmas to the audience. So that's going to be absolutely adorable, and I am so excited about that. So.
Do you accompany them then with the kids?
I will for most of them. Like the one from the musical is more jazzy, so that one, they'll probably use a recording. But a lot of them, I will be playing the piano, which is nice because if they somehow mess up and get off, I can fix it instead of a recording that's just going to go on with or without you. So, and that's really nice.
How about working in the accordion? Are you doing that or not? Not yet.
I told the kids that I play, and they were like, you need to pick a song that has accordion. I'm like, then who's going to direct you? What do you want? Like,
oh, sure, right.
So I told them that I might bring it in and show them, because a lot of them are very intrigued by the accordion. And I do have it here. I live in Reedsburg, so I have it in Reedsburg in my apartment. So.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, it's so nice to meet you. We hope that it's a good school year for you. It looks like it's off to a good start. So we hope people will come out and support your concerts coming up as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
Great to have you in here. Kennedy Kjellberg, who is the Ithaca music teacher, K through 12. And again, elementary concert coming up next Wednesday. The band concert will be a week from this coming Monday. This is The Morning Show from WRCO.